started planning it at 16. It shouldn't be a classic mass murder, a mere ritual. I would only be serving communion then.
911, what's the location of emergency?
I think we have shooting down at the elementary school.
When everyone's been executed, I'll call the police and I'll tell them who I am, what I've done and where I am. I won't shoot myself. I seek atonement for what I've gone through. I want to see the end result.
Hyvää iltaa.
Iltaa. Raumalla tänä aamuna sattunut traaginen ampumistapaus hiljensi Raumanmeren koulun suruliputukseen. 14-vuotias yläasteen poika ampui aamulla koulun alettua luokkahuoneessa 2 toveriaan päähän ja pakeni sitten paikalta.
Tekonsa syyksi koululainen on kertonut poliisille pitempään jatkuneen kaverien kiusanteon. Millaiseksi hänet arvioi luokkatoveri?
Semmoinen aika rauhallinen kaveri, että semmoinen ei olisi oikein ikään uskonut, että voi tehdä semmoista.
Kiusattiinko häntä?
Mun mielestä ei kyllä kiusattu paljonkaan.
Paljonkaan. Mutta kiusattiin joskus vai?
Joskus kiusattiin. Ei sillä ei lyömät tai sillä väkivalla, mutta sanoi, että kyllä sanottiin sitä.
My childhood involved a massive trauma, which probably enabled many things later on. I was 9 years old at the time. Everything in my life was happy before that. When I came home from school, I felt strange and I sensed that something was wrong. For some reason, I rang the doorbell, and when my mom opened the door, I said right away that you don't need to tell me. A trailer truck ran over my dad. The road was slippery. Black ice killed him. Dad was successful in his field. Many important people, total strangers to me, came to the funeral, even from abroad. An honor guard of 6 men stood by the casket in the chapel. Outside, the honor guard followed it all the way to the gravesite. All this made it seem even more unreal. My relationship with my mother was warm, but She was a traditional housewife. She clearly expected me to become the man of the house. Soon after my father's death, I started in a new school. It was an elite school at the time, full of children from successful families. I was still the best of the best, always an A student. They soon showed me I was nothing. I wasn't a child of the upper class. Not even the child of a successful father anymore. For them, I was the child of a single parent. They started bullying me systematically, even hitting me. At home, Mother told me to turn the other cheek. She said we all have our cross to bear. When my mom finally agreed to come to the school and talk about the issue, the elite school teachers were confused, some even irritated. It didn't happen in our school. The teachers thought that I disturbed the school's balance and harmony. I irritated and provoked the other students, and they had to defend themselves. Even some of the girls in my class wanted to see how the tough guys they admired operate. The girls also mocked me and laughed at me. They called me a clown, slimeball, leech, coward, and so on. I was the kind, nice boy who never fought back. But something happened inside me.
What's the location?
Yes.
Emergency.
I think we have shooting down at the elementary school.
911 State Police, can I help you?
I'm outside the building. I can't get in. I'm afraid to go to the front door.
Okay, all right.
My door's in that building, please.
Children are saying there's a man with a gun and they're trying to kill them. We're in the classroom and my children are just scared and we wanted to know an update.
Can you see him or no?
No, I'm on the floor. I can't.
Okay, all right.
Bullying increased year by year and became more brutal. I tried to forget the bullying by focusing on studies. I was interested in learning new things and reading. It seemed natural to me, as did success in school. Practically anything I did or wrote, I got an A. I was raised in an old 19th century Victorian tradition. It emphasized that eternal laws of nature define how the universe operates. Society is advanced by the ones who are best equipped for it. Suddenly, I was in a world where these laws of nature no longer existed. Aristocrats were trampling an aristocrat who was the son of a single parent. I realized that the one with power has the strength. Nature photography as a hobby and a few important friendships with grown-ups older than me helped me carry on. In high school, pretty much the same elite kids followed, and the bullying continued. It was less physical, but it also became more verbal. The bullying also prevented me from forming any relationships with girls. I started thinking of ways to survive. I was raised with a Christian ideology. You don't retaliate malice with malice or violence with violence. The guys wondered what was wrong with me, as I never fought back or sought help. I said that we just discussed aggression in psychology. And I think this is harder for you than it is for me. I'm probably just a form of treatment for you. Such arrogance annoyed them even more. They developed new ways of bullying, more verbal abuse, destroying clothes and school supplies. And girls became more active abusers too. I continued intellectualizing, which disarmed them, because they ran out of words to fight with. But by intellectualizing, I denied my emotions. And it was one method for survival I developed. At 16, I started fantasizing about punishment, about seeking atonement for what had happened. Like Nietzsche, I studied the line between good and evil. Injustice and violations of humanity should be punished. I developed torture fantasies. I wanted to cause unbearable pain to those who had wronged me. I considered getting a full metal baseball bat. Then I thought, why a baseball bat? It's vulgar. A real word is elegant, quick, efficient, and sovereign. Ever since the first time I was bullied, I've heard music in my mind. It deals with the agony, pain, shame, and humiliation arising from the situation. As I got older, when I was beaten, I'd hear Japanese tiger drums. The music makes me strong, painless, and enduring, and it helps me survive the assault. But if I hear the very same tiger drums in a non-bullying context, it can provoke in me an urge to retaliate. I think that when people are trained for terrorist acts, for example, they use sound, rhythm, and music because they can be used to manipulate people. In an unjust world, I was smitten by power and sovereignty in it. I wanted to gain sovereignty with which to control my opponents completely. I also began fantasizing about an apocalyptic massacre. I knew it was ethically wrong, but it was also wrong what I had been put through. I began making intricate plans. I studied all kinds of firearms and started to practice shooting. I was beginning to be ready for the attack. A proper scope, precision bullets, accurate ballistics, bullet profiles and flight paths, and the impact of variations in temperature and air currents. I studied it all carefully. When I was bullied, I became dissociated. My mind separated from my body. I no longer felt pain, other sensations or emotions. It's how I coped with it. If and when you survive it, you become detached from yourself, detached from humanity. There's me, and then there's other people. Or I'm the only human being. The others are something else. The act is not targeted at one's own species.
Hyvää alkuiltaa. Tässä ylimääräinen uutislähetys Tuusulan kouluammuskelun takia. Viimeisimpien tietojen mukaan Jokelan koulussa sattunut välikohtaus on vaatinut 8 ihmisen hengen.
Ampuja tuli pistooli kädessä palo-ovien läpi käytävän päästä ja lähti juoksemaan minua kohti huutaen ase kädessä. Ja kun pakenin Lammenrantaan, näin koulun oven ulkopuolella ruumiin.
Se juoksi sieltä se hullu tyyppi niin kuin aseen kanssa niin kuin meidän luokkaa kohti. Sitten kaikki rupesi huutaa meidän luokassa ja juoksi yhteen samaan nurkkaan.
Tuntui tommoselta hiljaiselta ja vähän syrjään vetäytyvältä, tosi valistunut kaveri ja vahvoja omia aatteita, joihin se uskoi niin tosi vahvasti.
Jokelan ampumistapaus jättää hyvin syvän viilon meidän turvallisuuden tunteeseemme.
Voi tätä hätähuutonakin pitää, mutta ei varmaan se ensimmäinen. Että järjetön tekohan tämä sitten on. Näin tekisi 5-vuotias, kun hänelle annetaan pyssy, että jos mun kanssa ei leikitä, jos mä en saa mitä mä haluan toimia kuin teräsmies, mä tapan kaikki. Erittäin itsekäs, erittäin lapsellinen, erittäin alkeellinen ja avuton tapa.
threshold for seeking help. I went to the school psychologist. It helped, but didn't resolve their underlying issue. I also discovered sports, which became an important lifeline. It finally pushed aside the fantasies of massacre. I entered a new world where I wasn't mocked or humiliated. I had learned to be a lone wolf among others, but in sports, I was part of the team. The coach knew my story and asked me if I understood that the bullying would end up destroying me. There's no need to turn the other cheek. It was one of the best experiences of my life to be part of a volleyball team and be successful. Be part of humanity. It wasn't normal to always get straight A's, even in the final exams. But I survived all the suffering through academic success, sports, and therapy. I felt like a huge weight fell off my shoulders. I was really looking forward to university. Intellectual conversations and noble values of the academic world. A leading professor thought I was talented and picked me for his research team. I jumped from a freshman to the field's elite. I became the teacher's pet. I became estranged from my peers, and the other students excluded me. I was an outsider. They even tried to harm me. 2 students accused me of cheating in an exam. There wasn't enough evidence, but I was a marked man. It's as if I attracted the dark side in good and decent people. I offered a target for them. To some people, I was like a lightning rod. I encountered some corrupt people in academia. They displayed mudslinging, nepotism, and the dominance of academic families, which to me indicated total inequality. Rumors were spread that I'd sexually harassed a female student. Fortunately, she heard about it and cleared my name. The many experiences made me feel alienated from my own species, human beings. I realized I'd never get rid of all this unless I took justice into my own hands. Fantasies returned. I started watching more films using image, psychology, and philosophy to depict aggression and power struggles. I was fascinated by mythical stories of heroes, films about the sovereign use of force. School shootings are a very complicated and complex phenomenon. But to some degree, they contain simple cause and effect relationships.
You will die next.
Tämä on suunnattoman surun päivä Suomessa. Kauhajoella, Etelä-Pohjanmaalla 11 ihmistä on saanut surmansa kouluammuskelussa. 22-vuotias mies avasi luokkahuoneessa käsiaseella tulen kohti muita oppilaita aamupäivällä.
Järkytys on suuri ja kaikkien huulilla on nyt se vaikea kysymys, miksi näin kävi ja miksi näin kävi nyt taas.
Siihen varmaan kenelläkään ei ole vastausta, että miksi tällaista tapahtuu.
Helsinkiin kokoontuneiden ulkomaisten väkivaltatutkijoiden mukaan vastaavia tapauksia voi tulla lisää, jos Suomessa ei ryhdytä ennaltaehkäiseviin toimiin.
It's an international phenomenon. We had our first incident in Germany in 1999. We had a copycat effect. Germany now is the second most country with the most school shooting.
We estimated about 1/3 is having diagnosable mental health issues, whereas the others have feelings of anger, of grievance, and they are acting out on their own feelings over a long period of time.
How does one get picked as a target for bullying? It's like the way a predator goes after young ducks. He'll pick one that can't quite swim or has a broken wing. An easy target may be a kid who is just too nice. He gets a beating. When it happens several times, he develops a fear of bullies. Like some people are afraid of dogs. They say dogs can smell it. He starts behaving like an easy target, and the bullies attack. Again and again. One solution is to move the bullied kid to another school. But surprise, the bullying starts again in the new place, because the kid has a stigma. It is so ingrained in a person's character and automatic, involuntary reactions that he remains an easy, tempting target, perhaps throughout his life. Therapy and psychology studies helped me understand myself. It stopped me from seeking atonement. To me, there are two types of rage, black and white. Black rage blinds with anger and makes one lose control. Most homicides are committed impulsively in a black rage. White rage isn't impulsive or upset. It makes one calm and analytical. You coldly observe an injustice and make plans for revenge. The mental health sector does not recognize the concept of white rage. It's associated with a neuropsychological predisposition, such as post-traumatic reaction, behavioral or personality disorder, or untreated ADHD. One is not born with white rage. These killers are calm, even friendly. They might help someone and then walk into a school to launch an execution. White rage can be controlled throughout one's life. If you take it to the grave, no one will ever know about it. If a person gets bullied in childhood, it might cause no reaction in some. Someone else may fall apart and become depressed or even commit suicide. Someone may develop white rage. I've followed this topic extensively for years. I've studied literature and met experts in the field at international conferences.
That's a fucking slug. Imagine that in someone's fucking brain.
I think that many cases have much in common with me. Mass murders are often committed in a white rage. The perpetrators are victims of childhood trauma and bullying. Anders Breivik is a difficult case for psychiatrists. Breivik was first analyzed as a psychotic schizophrenic. It would have served a secure and formative purpose better. But he was then analyzed by 3 more psychiatrists who said, "This guy is not schizophrenic or psychotic. He knew exactly what he was doing." Destructive thoughts are linked to dehumanization. Like in war, the enemy is not a citizen of another state. They are the enemy. They are not people. Their humanity has been stripped in training. In other words, they've been dehumanized. The same happens in my mind.
Get back here. Stop.
The cause may be a single person, but because of the white rage within me, his offense, if it is strong enough, is generalized. Then it doesn't matter if I end up killing 1 or 5,000 civilians. No, they are not civilian victims. They are not people. They are dehumanized like the original abuser. If music such as tiger drums may trigger my desire for revenge, I've learned with age that by thinking about some other music, I can suppress and end the negative violent urge and the impact of the music. And through different type of music, I can enter a kind of meditative state of altered consciousness and awareness. White rage is not generally identified. Some people seek help. There's something off about them, but it's hard to pin down. I'm always a potential killer. It will always live inside me. Having survived the bullying, I've passed a kind of special forces training. Superpowers use the same mechanism to train individuals for secret assassinations. These individuals are exposed to extreme conditions and beaten, and their minds are destroyed multiple times, so that they will develop through dissociation a calm and analytical state of mind when they can carry out operations with deliberation and in a cold-blooded way. An individual who can't develop white rage won't pass the training, because the training can be so violent and intense that a person may break. The ones who make it can handle almost anything, but in the process they lose their ability to feel emotions and live normal life. White rage can erupt when different cultures collide. This can also happen when refugees encounter the prejudices and fears of the country they end up in. Terrorist organizations like ISIS probably have members who possess white rage. They plan strategies, train, and sometimes perform the most complex attacks. The events of my childhood and youth directed me. I didn't end up bombing schools or government buildings. I focused on studying and the human mind. As a scholar, I have lectured on aggression and violent behavior in many countries. After surviving, my experiences developed into a resource. I was given a life, peace of mind, and a place among people. You can process things and keep violence at bay. It's what I've done to cope with white rage. First, you have to recognize and understand it. Then you can live with it and hope to take it with you to the grave.